So we are all systems go on, it looks like, all pages with the exception of the Ripple Effects page on Facebook, but that should go live here in just a second. So we should be good to go. And we'll get started here at the very top of the hour. Cynthia, how you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good. I'm excited to do this. This is our our first live stream. So
Yay!
yeah. Now we'll just
Q&A.
Yeah, we appreciate anybody that maybe is joining. Have submitted questions ahead of time. Thank you so much for doing that. We're grateful for you and your willingness to come check this out. Looks like on my page, we have a couple of people that are watching us so far. So thank you for joining. We'll get started here in just a second. This is going to be a question and answer regarding the Ripple membership, which we're launching September 1st. Super, super excited about this program and what it's going to bring to the table. We'll dive into that here just momentarily. All right.
I don't see it on Facebook.
Yours on Ripple Central, it will go live right at noon. So on these other ones, we just went a little bit early because I just want to make sure that we're hopefully, if you happen to be on the live stream now and you're just waiting for us to start at the top of the hour, could you let us know how we sound in the audio? If you just drop a comment, let us know who you are, where you're from, and if our audio is coming across A-OK. That would be most appreciated.
Test, test, test.
Test, test, test.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I miss that guy from Verizon. Then he made the switch to AT&T. Like, hey, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Nagme, how are you doing? She said we sound good, but she can't stay. So have fun. Oh, Nagme, I was going to actually give you a potential Ripple there where you live. We'll have to talk about it, but I'm going to make an introduction. I think that you might really benefit from. So even though you can't stay, we're going to hook you up with a Ripple regardless. So thanks for coming. All right. If you're monitoring the Ripple Central, the Ripple Effect page, let's see if it goes live here in just about 30 seconds. So then we'll get started.
All right.
We should have I would normally play some streaming music, which I have license for, but I think it would screw up all of our audio.
Oh, let's not do that.
Oh, it's Nagme's birthday. Happy birthday. I haven't been on Facebook to see birthdays yet today, so I will wish you a happy birthday publicly. But I mean, you're on our live stream, so it's your birthday. Fantastic. Happy birthday. So hopefully somebody's taking you out for a really nice lunch for your birthday. Okay, we are almost about to go live on the Ripple Effect page. So for those of you that are tuning in, thanks. We're going to get started here at the top of the hour, which is now. Welcome, guys, to our first question and answer session regarding the Ripple membership. I am Steve Harper, and with me is Cynthia Berg. Cynthia, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Fantastic. I'm excited about today. I have to be honest, we're streaming through multiple platforms. So I'm trying to keep track of a couple. You're trying to keep track of a couple. We want to encourage people to and Alexa just turned on to tell me that it's time for our live stream. So if you heard that in the background, that's one of the reasons why. So anyway, but we're trying to monitor all the different platforms, but we're here because we've got, a lot to talk about today in just a very short period of time, talking about the upcoming Ripple membership. And I'm excited that this is our first of several sessions that we've got planned. So, but, before we kick it off, Cynthia, do you got anything you want to cover or want to talk about before we jump into any of the questions that have been submitted?
No, we got lots of questions and we have lots of answers. And I'm still looking for it on Facebook, but I don't see it on Facebook, but.
So we're on at least my channel. Worst case, we may have to push it back over, but I'm not seeing it on the Ripple Effect page yet either. I'm not sure why. Let me jump over to you, and I'm just going to take just a second to do this. Let me just see what is going on. And because we're now in a video, it doesn't actually let me go back to the page. So,
Oh,
yes, this is this is the beautiful thing about live streaming. I love it. Let's see if it
yeah.
goes live now. Let's try that just to see. Come on, come on. It says we are live according to the back end. So if you're not seeing it, maybe it's, I don't know what the deal is. I don't know. But let's
When I
try.
go to the event, it says go live to start the event.
Let's go try that one more time. That's what I actually did. So all of it, all systems are go on my end.
I will appear in the event. Okay. Darn technology.
Yeah,
Ain't it great?
it is great. Not really. So, hey, Asha's here. Asha, it is she's catching up as she's headed back home from the States. So thanks for joining us, Asha. So Asha came in on my page. So while we're talking, I'm going to continue to see if we can see it go live here. Do you see any change on your end?
Nope.
Okay. I'll still work on that. But why don't we dive into one of our first questions?
Yeah, so probably the biggest question was, what are we planning to learn and practice inside the Ripple membership?
Oh, that's a
Which
good
is,
one.
like, right off the top, like maybe we talk about how we really thought of doing this in the first place.
Yeah. Well, I think I don't know if you want to give your perspective and then I'll sort of give mine.
Sure. Well, I think we got together last fall and we were talking about the ripple effect and all the great work that you were doing. I mean, you've done so many things over the years and a lot of different channels and delivering this content kind of in a lot of different places and a lot of different kinds of people. And I think we just wondered what it would be like to take all of that effort and really channel it into one place where we could encourage and empower a practice of connection as a community. So I think we just started talking about that. And the more we talked about it, the more sense it made, because we realized that building a practice of connection, and it takes practice, and it actually is, I think, easier and better outcomes if we do it together.
Yeah.
So, and it makes sense. If you want to build connection with other people, why not create a space where other people can come together?
Yeah.
So I think the more we talked about it, the more we started seeing some trends in the kind of content and really excellent ways that you've been training people in the past. And things started to shape up into these monthly topics. So we have a vision for these topics. So there'll be a new sort of theme every single month. And I think we're committed to those themes, but I think we're also open to it being flexible also. So, if we decide that there's really something coming up in current events, or there's something among the community we really want to dig deep into, we're open to maybe switching up the themes.
Absolutely.
But we had no problem coming up with themes for all 12 months of a year. So then we started to think of this more as like a continuous journey. So it's not like connection is something that you can just learn and then once you get it, you're done learning. It's really about sort of like physical fitness in the way that you kind of always have to keep practicing and switching things up and trying new things to be able to challenge yourself in new ways. So we saw it as a year-round kind of thing and something that you could potentially keep on doing year over year and probably keep on learning the same, learning new things, even though maybe the topics are the same. There's always like sort of a new angle or new depth. So every month we're planning on learning and practicing some topic. We're focusing in on some topic related to relationship building, connection, networking, all different kinds of angles.
Personal and professional development for sure. There's a huge angle there for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, a lot of people know you for professional networking, maybe the 8-Minute Ripple, but actually came to know you through the 8-Minute Ripple for personal reasons. It
Yeah.
was after my divorce, and I was feeling like I had been out of the practice of making friends. I sort of relied on our mutual friends. And so I really needed to just get out there and start practicing. How do I meet new people? And how do I start conversations? And how do I maybe get rid of this icky feeling I have as an introvert of, doing that? And so the 8-Minute Ripple was perfect for me. Well, I think it's the same is true for the things that we're going to be looking at in the membership. So even if you come to the membership with some idea of improving your professional development, I think you'll probably gain a lot out of it personally, just, through the practice of it, and vice versa.
Yeah, absolutely. A couple of quick acknowledgments, and then I'll kind of dive into a little bit more and expand upon what you just said. But Donna Carlin, thanks for joining today. Asha actually had a question that I'll throw in right now. Will we be having a mastermind or concentrated group where we can learn as business owners to better connect within this membership? And the goal is yes. We actually want to create sort of a community of Ripplers that can engage and connect with one another. The early data sort of shows that there is an appetite for a mastermind program. That's something that we will potentially, come and look at some stage during this first year. But for sure, the key factor within the membership is we want to get everybody rippling together and connecting, right? Not only just with the 8-Minute Ripple itself, but within the monthly themes that Cynthia was talking about that we're sort of focused on, having those conversations, having that engaged that opportunity to engage with other Ripple members, so that that's where the great magic happens. I think at the end of the day, it's like setting the table, and at the end of the day, sort of everybody is bringing their own dish to the potluck and bringing their own perspectives and their experiences, but to a certain degree also a lot of the same fears and concerns and challenges that maybe we're not talking about in our regular life, but we're really, we're still struggling with. And having a group, like you said, Cynthia, that you can learn from, that you can benchmark off of, that you've got people that are there that are supportive and willing to listen and hear what your challenges are, but also potentially offer some ideas in terms of how they might suggest you overcome those challenges or strategies that have worked for them, I think could be super, super beneficial. And so that's one of the things that I'm super excited. And so Asha, thank you for that question. I really, really appreciate that. At the end of the day, the reality is that piece is an important, pillar that I think we're building this membership around, which is that community.
Yeah, right off the bat, I think of two things that we're going to have right away that's going to make it possible for people to connect directly with one another. One is a private forum where members can actually start and contribute to conversations with one another. So if there's something that a business owner wants to discuss and get other business owners involved in or talking about, the forum could be a really great way to find those other people who maybe are thinking about those same things. The other thing that we have is a member directory, which is optional but highly encouraged, and you can really just asks you for a few pieces of information about yourself, enough so that maybe another member can go check you out on Facebook and see what you're up to and who you are and what you might have in common. And so there would be a way for, if you decided to complete your profile on the directory, for other people to find you that way. So the directory is not about like a marketing lead list.
Yeah. It's not a target list for everybody. Let's just make that abundantly clear, right?
Right. It's really a way for everyone to have an opportunity to get to know other people. Maybe part of the practice, we'll have a lot of actionable steps, but part of the practice might be to reach out to somebody that you don't know through the directory or through the forums to start a conversation. And you never know what kind of connection point that you're going to have when you start those conversations. So even though if you're a business owner, maybe you're reaching out to somebody who is not a business owner, who maybe even somebody who's not even employed, somebody who's maybe coming, who's like a full-time parent or, retired, you might be really surprised at the connection points that you have with those individuals. So
Yep.
we're going to challenge you to get outside your box a little bit and to reach out to people and to really practice your connection skills with each other, and also outside the membership, because look, it's a big world, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that was one of the other questions I had was around the member directory, whether or not it was required to do it, and it's absolutely not required. And the other question that I got was whether or not the forum was going to be a Facebook group or hosted on Facebook. And we decided not to host it on Facebook because there's a lot of Facebook groups out there, so that it's kind of crowded. We wanted some place that was a bit more secure and a bit more private. So we're actually hosting it right on the same platform where the membership program will live.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about being logged into Facebook in order to participate in the membership at all.
Well, and one of the reasons I think was important to me to not, and of course we're using Facebook today, so I don't want to necessarily say anything about our gracious hosts. However,
we love you, Facebook.
Yeah, we do love you, Facebook. Please do not send the black helicopters after me. But at the end of the day, some of what gets said in those groups settings and some of those pages, and even private behind the wall groups, sometimes that algorithm is pretty creative in terms of what it wants to market and promote to you as an individual. And we really want this to be very fluid and very organic and have that freeing component relative to making sure people feel like this is, their community. It's safe, it's secure, and we can share whatever we feel comfortable sharing. And we don't have to worry about, some algorithm potentially coming back and trying to market to us right at the end of the day. So that for me was incredibly important. And so, it's one of those things when I look at the approach that we're trying to take, it's really about, at the end of the day, trying to deliver the best possible experience we can to each and every one of our members and delivering the best, possible content, the best possible coaching. Really, it's about creating that level of connection, whether you're trying to improve you're building your personal, your professional network, you're trying to engage with your team at work, trying to find better ways to convert some of those prospects into customers, or those customers into lifelong evangelists for your business. All of these things have the component of connection and really critical in doing that. And then from that comes the community piece, whether it's creating the community within the Ripple membership with your fellow members, or it's being able to take these concepts that you're learning and now applying it out there in your life, whether it be creating your own neighborhood group or creating your small own networking, effort to, your local business owners that might want to do networking a little bit differently. The Ripple is a great way to sort of showcase and show that approach. Or you're just trying to build your own community of like-minded individuals that have similar interests, whether it's health and fitness, whether it's getting out and doing something fun on a Saturday, or just having brainstorming sessions. Those things are so critical and important. I talked to somebody just this past week that said they had signed up for WeWork, hoping the co-working space that would be what they would get there, but they realized that there was just nobody, that, and they're very shy and introverted like me. So they reached out to me because they had questions about how I overcame that. But they really were hoping somebody would be kind of the ringleader there that would say, come on, let's do it. And at the end of the day, the hosted happy hours and some of the forced business networking just isn't what a lot of people feel comfortable with, right? So sometimes if you don't see or find what you're looking for, sometimes you have to go create it. And so our goal is to hopefully create an environment where our folks can actually go out and duplicate what they're learning and experiencing, and now take it and be able to do it in their own personal and professional lives. And that's where the power and the magic really comes into play. I do want to say a quick note. Donna had said good stuff. I apologize. I am not actually showing these these comments. I forgot that I've got to click this button in order for them to populate. But thank you so much, Donna, for that. Asha, thank you for the feedback, and thanks for being here. You are on in between flights for an international flight. So I appreciate you making time to be here today. And then Janet just came, Janet Taborn, and she said she loved the idea of practicing skills together. I think that was a comment she was making while you were talking, Cynthia.
Yeah, yeah. Well, one of the other questions that we were getting was, what exactly do you get in the Ripple membership?
Yep.
You want to run down the list?
Yeah, well, it's a host of things, right? At the end of the day, we're going to be creating everything around these individual monthly themes, and so we'll have some, great content. We're going to have some great one-on-one sessions. We're going to have some coaching, opportunities centered in and around the specific theme. And quite honestly, where it, kind of addresses another question that got posed to me recently was, why is this, how is this different from another membership or what I see online? And there's just so many of these things that are out there. Ours, we want to make it very interactive. We want it we want this to be an experience, not just something static that you may or may not tune into. We want people to feel like there's a sense of urgency because they're getting value. And so, like you mentioned at the very onset, we're sort of building this plane as we take off, because what I'm hoping that we can accomplish is, as we do this, we're going to get more feedback from our members who say, look, this is what I'm looking for. These are the things I really need or could use some help on. And at the end of the day, these are the approaches that, that I'm looking for, which, by the way, probably has applicability to the vast majority of our members. And so we may shift and alter our approach and our direction a little bit just to make sure that we're hitting on all cylinders. But we're going to be in constant learning mode. We're absorbing and taking on information as much as people are sharing and what their needs are. But, it may be a slight shift or direction reposition just to make sure that we're accomplishing what we're looking for. So, in addition to the great content, we'll have those one-on-one opportunities. We're going to be featuring some great subject matter experts along the way, which gives you exposure to some really great people. I would tell you probably one of my greatest skills is figuring out the specifics of each individual and saying, okay, what do you need? And then let me figure out how to mine the right kinds of connections. I want to do that magnified for our Ripple community. I want to be able to have people walk away and go, not only did I walk away with some amazing business connections, but I got some great lifelong friends. And so I think that's one of the biggest benefits that I'm most excited about.
Yeah, and the other thing that's included too, what we have on what's in the plan actually, is that we're going to continue to do the 8-minute ripples every month. And as you know, we started doing them, the virtual 8-minute ripple we started doing back in January, and it's huge success. I mean, we figured out how to do this in a virtual way that's really actually a lot of fun. And we're taking a short break in the summer because a lot of people are just not interested in being online.
They want to be outside, Cynthia. But, you've said it all along.
I did too. But we're going to bring it back in later August. We're going to fire it back up again. And as you know, it costs $27 to attend the 8-minute ripple. But for Ripple members, they'll be getting a free pass. So we'll be at the top of the month, we'll be handing out coupon codes so that you can get into the 8-minute ripple for free. This is really important that we want to build community through something that's really fun and engaging, where people actually get to ripple with one another. So that's hard to do actually online, but we are getting really good at it.
Yeah.
So we're hoping to build a larger, we're trying to get the word out about 8-minute ripple and really get a lot of people involved in that event, whether they're members or not. But members are actually going to be able to attend for free. So in my view, like, that's super high value right there. In addition to like the monthly master classes and live Q&As and group coaching events and, the tools and resources that we're going to include to support your learning. Not to mention the forums and the member directory. I think when we chat, we talk about doing fun things like challenges and contests and giveaways, just to keep things really fun and light. And, when we bring in a subject matter expert, we're really going to ask them if they have anything that they want to share with the members. So if they have, like something to give away or some, special offer that they want to make, we'll make those available to members also. So the potential, I think, is to really create something that every single month is going to bring you a lot of different, like a buffet of things that you can pick and choose from to help enhance your connection practice.
Absolutely. Well, Donna Carlin just mentioned that on the comment that's up on the screen that you can't see on your view, Cynthia, but I'll just read it. The 8-Minute Ripple is an extraordinary experience on so many levels. Thank you, Donna. I appreciate that so much. And Janet, who is one of our founding members, by the way, and I appreciate her being here for the question and answer, but Ripple membership is a no-brainer. I mean, I love this. This is fantastic. That the other thing that we're going to do that I didn't hear you say, but just to throw out there, is that one of the things that we started playing with was the idea of these TED circles, where we feature a specific TED talk, and we turn this into.
We have one coming up.
Yeah, we do.
Week,
We
right?
do
On Wednesday.
Yeah, on Wednesday. Yeah, normally they're on Tuesdays, but I'm traveling back from a conference, so it'll be Wednesday at 12 o'clock Central Standard Time. So we'll put out a promo for that. These will be included. We'll probably stop doing those publicly and actually just turn our attention and focus back to our members. But the TED Circle is an opportunity for us to come together, see some great content that hopefully, and we'll gear this around the themes that we're going to be covering each month, but ultimately a deeper dive with a completely different perspective, a well-established speaker, a presentation that was done via the TED website, and utilizing that opportunity to have that conversation, get a different perspective, but then come together kind of in a lunch and learn environment where we can have a discussion about it. And what we've done in these first couple, we've had some really lively discussions that have extended. Actually, in fact, I had to tell you, Cynthia, everybody that has been on these has said, hey, we got to go right up until 1 o'clock, because we were doing them at 45 minutes, but people are like, there's just too much to say and too much conversation that's happening. But if that's any indication, the great opportunity is for us to get, additional exposure, get new ideas, and be able to share and have that conversation as a group, I think is so powerful.
Yeah, it's so interesting to find out like what other people's perspectives are on the topics. And you're picking really great topics, by the way. So I'm very fascinated by the TED Talks that we're watching, and then afterwards you're asking great questions, and people are really, there's just like an array of opinions. And I think that's what we need more of in life too.
Absolutely.
Like forums where we can actually listen to one another with an open mind, an open heart, and just hear what people have to say from their own perspectives.
Absolutely.
But hey, before we get too far, one of the best questions I got was, what the heck is a founder's pass?
Well, so our goal was with the founder's pass was to provide some incentive for you to sign up early, even though we're not launching until September, but to not only get involved in this early and actually secure a lifetime discount, which, as we're going to do this year after year after year, the goal is to be able to keep that price at your, purchase price, which is a pretty significant discount to start. And, who knows, the success of this program, this absolutely could be, go and go gangbusters, and in the future could be a lot more expensive. So as a founding member, you're locked in forever, right? So if it goes up $100 next year, $200 or whatever, you'll never have to worry about that. The other aspect is we want to be able to sprinkle some special surprises throughout the summer towards you. We'll be doing some things that'll be announced, but more importantly, we want to be able to just share a few surprises along the way to thank you for signing up and being a part of this process. The goal with it is to hopefully have you not only engage as a founding member, but encourage the people that potentially need some help. And let's be honest, and I'm not, I'd be the first to admit it. We all need the help. At the end of the day, we're all struggling in some capacity, and we could all do a little better in building our relationships. We could all do a little better in connecting and engaging. We could all use some input there.
Didn't I just write about that in Slack? I was like, gee, maybe I need a membership so that I can practice doing this on a regular basis.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and
I got a deal for you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly. But, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter where we are in our lives. We can always do a little bit better. And one of the components that'll be really talked about in great detail throughout this entire process is your impact on the world, right? Making a difference, you know, getting outside of yourself to do things a little bit differently than you've done up to this point, encouraging people to look at some of the behavior change. And behavior change, as we know, is very difficult and it's hard because without, you know, constant reinforcement, we fall back into the habits. I know that I constantly need, you know, my coaches and my mentors that work with me to keep me on track and motivated on the right things. And we want to bring this out to everybody in scale, right? Not everybody wants a personal coach or a professional coach. Not everybody knows that that's the right fit for them, but they will be willing to hang out with some friends and test some of these thoughts and processes in an environment that, you know they're not being judged, and everybody's there to bring their best that they can and be supportive of one another. And that's the ultimate level of community. So literally, you know, this tribe that we're developing, this tribe of Ripplers, are people that are committed to doing, you know, living their life more authentically, you know, living and working differently than they've done up to this point, and ideally leaving, you know, a bigger and better impression in the world, you know, than they might have done on their own, right? With the encouragement of some of the content, some of the subject matter experts that we bring, we feel like we've got some tremendous value that we're going to bring to the table for sure. Donna just mentioned Ted is all about rippling, so she's excited about that. We got to get her to, you know, to get to one of our lunch ripples, which she is a TED fellow. So I mean, she's speaks from authority, which is fantastic. And then Janet said Reese's peanut butter cups always bring people together. So yeah, Janet is one of our founding members, and one of the questions I asked was, you know, what was one of your guilty pleasures of candy, right? And turns out that she and a couple of our founding members all hit on the same candy, which is kind of going to be a fun way to kick off some of this conversation and engagement going forward. But, you know, yeah, you just never know what the small little things are that are going to connect you to somebody. And it's so, so fun. And Donna clarified, she's a TED coach to the fellows. She's a TED coach to the fellows. Thanks for clarifying that, Donna. Yes. So, you know, we have just a few more minutes left. Cynthia, I know that we've got other questions, and we promised people if we didn't get to everything on the live stream, we would hit them back. Not everybody could make this live stream, but are there any that we want to kind of, you know, hit on before the end here?
I just have one more question.
Okay.
When does it start?
Yes, September 1st is when the official program kicks off, and we're super excited about that. We'll be doing some additional social media content, some videos to support what's coming up in September, and all of that information about what that theme will be. But you can actually see some of what we're going to be doing starting right now. Actually, June, going into June 23rd, 2023, will actually be the theme of June will actually be gathering. And gathering is about, you know, creating this sense of community within your friendship group. And one of the things I've been doing some videos and social posts around is how do you get people together that maybe need to know one another that wouldn't otherwise know each other. But the common denominator is that they know you, right? So hosting a coffee for a morning coffee or, you know, tacos and tequila or something that gives people a reason to kind of come together. You're the excuse for doing it. And you setting them off into motion to have some conversation and engagement. I just had a good friend that said they took my advice, did that. Actually, they decided to do it by bringing a few people that they knew from a networking group that were just super cool and they liked, but they wanted to get outside of that business networking stuff. And they had a few people that they knew that really could use some, you know, new relationships in their life. A neighbor that was struggling after a divorce, and then somebody that was recently laid off from a job, and then another person that is fairly new to town in general. They all kind of got together, and he said, look, it was amazing because there was just this energy and coolness about bringing people together just to have conversation without any pretense, right? There's no agenda. There's no, hey, you got to do this. But it's like, look, I know all 6 of you individually, and all 6 of you are awesome. And let's get you together. And so it was one of the first, feedbacks that we've gotten on the month of June for the gathering, theme that we're focused on. But I'm hopeful that we can do a lot of that throughout the membership going forward.
Yeah, being a convener doesn't have to be complicated. It can be really simple. But
yep.
I actually find it really hard to do. And so it's not like a natural thing for me to be a good convener. But I also think of what does it mean to be a good convener in the workplace? So those people who are maybe in the workplace who are suffering from Zoom fatigue and really bad meetings, like how do we dig a little bit deeper into that and figure out how to make our meetings better, how to convene better meetings? Maybe, looking at a few different strategies, and the members themselves can maybe chime in to tell us as a group what are the kinds of strategies that maybe they've implemented that have really improved meetings. So I think there's a lot to this theme of gathering. In fact, I wonder how we're going to be able to fit it all into 1 month. But
it will be tough.
But I see it. What I loved about your post was you framed it as a challenge, like a gathering challenge.
Yep.
I really like that, because for 1 month, you can maybe focus on gatherings in a few different angles of your life, personal, professional, and just maybe make some small changes to figure out how you can move a little bit closer to being more of a convener in your life. And for me, I think that makes a huge difference, just small changes to kind of move the needle a little bit. And so that I don't feel like, I'm not the convener. I'll just, attend what other people plan. It gets me kind of out of my comfort zone, thinking of myself as a convener and maybe taking a few risks. So, and I like that approach to all of the months that we have planned, sort of a challenge and a way to, getting out a few different habits or actionable strategies that help you just move the needle a little bit. And just by doing that, you might make a huge shift in how you approach your relationships and the groups of people in your life.
Yeah, excellent point. I will say, one of the nice things about it, if you're shy and introverted like me, getting together people that need to know one another, chances are you probably know, right? You know a handful of friends or maybe family members or business acquaintances that you're like, you just have some things in common. You guys need to know each other. You get all the power as an individual to bring people together that way. And even if you're not one that's like, I don't want to be the, front and center, or, I don't want to be necessarily having to organize, this process with me being the, the person that has to get up and talk and say why we're doing it. It's easy to have those conversations one-on-one and just say, hey, look, we're all meeting at, place X at such time. Show up, and, I'll introduce you to a few people, because, even if you're shy and introverted, making introductions is super easy. But the nice thing is that you can stand back and just watch all the rippling happen. In fact, that's sort of how I started with the 8-minute ripple to begin with, right? Let's let people have a different perspective on the power of connecting. Let me show it and just make it go. And then I sat there and watched and wondered, and I just loved it. It was phenomenal. Janet did ask a question.
So did everyone else.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Without question. Janet put, and I had this up on the screen a little bit. Janet asked, what is the best way to help promote and invite others to join? That's a great question.
Yeah, terrific question. I mean, I think we're going to share this Q&A on all social channels, and I think finding it on social and sharing it on social is a really great way. But I actually am going to advocate for the harder thing here, which is to actually think about who you know in your own network who might want to join you in the membership. So it could be maybe somebody in your family, or maybe a coworker, or somebody in your friends, or maybe even just somebody that you want to know better, and you're thinking, maybe this would be a great way to do something together on a routine.
Yeah.
So I kind of see like the Ripple membership as just what you were talking about with gatherings and convening. All we're doing is convening a place where we can get together and learn together and really hit the ball back and forth between one another. So I don't see this at all as what I'm really kind of tired of, which is like online courses where they sort of just throw up a bunch of content and then you're on your own. So it's a lot of like sit and listen kind of content. And we will have a master class that is like, solid content, but I actually think most of the experience in the membership is going to be interactive. It's going to be engaging with one another. That is the challenge. that we have to be able to convene something where people feel comfortable connecting with one another. So I think if you know specific people who need to be in the membership, you are probably the best person to help tell them what it's all about, share this video, point them to the website. We have a banner right at the top of all pages now that if you click on it, goes right to the membership page. And there you can watch the video that we produced and had so much fun making, and read all about the membership and the benefits that we see that we're trying to make available for you. It
Yep.
does have frequently asked questions at the bottom. And then if you have any other questions, you can reach out to us.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. Well, thank you for asking that question, Janet. Thanks for all the comments, all of the questions today. I want to give a special shout out to Bill, who couldn't be here today, but actually had suggested or offered his perspective on what he's seeing in his efforts to take our Gather Challenge this month. And I'm super grateful he did that, and can't wait to hear it. Sounds like he's going to do another one before the end of the month, just to sort of broaden the ripple, if you will. But we are so grateful for the time. We'll be back again for another question and answer session. I will tell you, some people were texting me. Some people are seeing it on our Ripple Effect page, and some people were not. I'm not sure why. Looks like Facebook was playing a little bit, maybe A/B testing there. I have no idea, but we will figure it out. We've got a plan going forward as to how we'll do the streaming so that we hit all of the distribution channels that we're looking for. But appreciate all of you for joining today and being a part of this first question and answer on the Ripple membership. We are super excited to launch this September 1, but we encourage you to go to ripplecentral.com. As Cynthia said, at the very top of every page, there is a banner that says, click here to learn more information about the Ripple membership, and a great way for you to understand where we're positioning this, what we're doing to get it launched, the great value that it brings to you, whether you're an individual, you're an entrepreneur, you're leading an organization, and you're trying to do something, big that you really want to, move forward within your organization. The membership can be a great way to add value to those personal and professional development programs that you're trying to implement for your employees and your teams. Super grateful for the opportunity to just kind of explore where we can take this and what we can do with it. And we'll be back again very soon. And highly encourage everybody to make sure that you stay tuned for next Wednesday when we do the next TED Ripple, where we'll be featuring a really compelling talk. So we hope you'll join us for that. But in the meantime, Cynthia, thanks for the time today. This was awesome.
Good questions, everyone.
Yeah, thanks. All right. You guys have a great rest of your day. Go out there and make a difference in the world, make a difference in someone's life, make a difference in your own life. And as always, ripple on.